It's that time.
So remember the Alamo?
To do another one of our cute little skits?
No, we're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Will, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. I am giving my spoiler review for episode 1 of Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. This is how I'm going to have to say it, because there is, you get it. Anyway, this is a spoiler review for the very first episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. God, this is going to sound weird multiple times I say it, but I'm doing individual episodes for the 8th episode of their first season. I'm assuming it's not going to be the last season on Netflix, because I haven't done like episode reviews in a while. So let's just do them individually. I know they dropped all the episodes. All 8 episodes are on Netflix right now for your viewing pleasure. So I'm just going to review them individually and try to release them like twice a week, if at all humanly possible. That's my goal. So try not to hold me to it, because life. But again, this is a spoiler review for the Netflix version of Avatar: Last Airbender, the live action series. So if you haven't watched those particular episodes yet, be warned, I will be talking about spoilers from the episode. Just make sure you watch them first and then come back and hear my thoughts on it. Or it's literally the same show. So if you've seen the animated one, you kind of know what I'm talking about per se.
Okay.
This is going to be an interesting way of me doing it, because most, even casual people, know about Avatar: The Last Airbender. They might not be fully versed on it, they might not have seen it in a long time, but most people know of the show's existence from the animated series. So, and I'm assuming most of the people watching, if you're watching this video, if you're the core audience that I know, you probably know. So I'm not going to necessarily go in depthly in explaining the series to you. Just understand, I'm not going to give the full breakdown. I really kind of just want to talk about the differences, if anything else. If this happens to be your first time checking out one of my videos, hi, my name is Will, like I said, and I do geeky stuff on the internet. I just do reviews and reactions. I do some gaming, some drinking videos. I do discussion things. I do whatever floats my boat. Basically, that's what this channel basically is. I just like to have fun, and I hope you do as well. And if you happen to enjoy the sort of energy I'm putting out, and you want to hear more of it as a geeky bear on this fast internet, please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. So, before I jump into my thoughts on the first episode of the 8 episode season, I do want to say a few things first, because internet fandoms can be scary. So, number one, these are just personal opinions. I do have a general love and admiration for the series. This is my stuffed Appa. Yes, I have a stuffed Appa from the animated series. It's a good size. I got it like Comic-Con. No, I got it from an anime convention in Baltimore way back in the day. And I love this little thing. It's been with me for so long, and I love it. I'm not going to throw him this time. You could check out the other video when I threw him. I'm a very big fan of the series. It was a series that really spoke to me, and I really appreciate it. And I was there for the dark times of the He Who Should Not Be Named version. But if you want to see my real thoughts on it, I did a review for it a few years ago. It was not fun. It was not fun. It was funny, but not fun. So I do have a lot of history with the series. So this is just my overall opinion of the live action attempt by Netflix, who has honestly done a decent job with the last few live action attempts that they've done, in my personal opinion. Again, opinions vary. Number 2, and this is very important, be nice to each other when talking about the show online. Some people take things a little too seriously. And I don't. I like to have fun. I like to watch things that bring me joy and happiness in a very stressful world that we live in. So I usually don't really trash a show. If I don't like it, I just don't watch it. Just be nice to each other when you're talking about these things. And also 3, this is an adaptation of the animated series. Things are not necessarily going to necessarily be beat for beat. So just kind of understand that from my point of view when I'm giving my overall thoughts. on the first episode and any of the other episodes that I do, because I will be doing individual episodes. So all those things out of the way, TLDR, I thought the first episode was actually pretty solid. It is pretty much the first 3.5 episodes of book 1, which, remember, this live action adaptation is going to be 8 episodes. If you remember, book 1, Water, was 20 episodes. You can kind of do the math of how they're probably going to try to mesh most of the things to get in there. I thought the first episode was actually an interesting retelling of the events that started everything. There are a lot of fundamental things that are different that I noticed with the first episode, primarily that the story was being told much more in a linear sense. The original animated one kind of started off with Aang being discovered, and then you eventually saw the backstory of when he found out he was the Avatar, and how he left and ended up getting caught in the storm and frozen in the ice. That was a later thing. The series starts with all that stuff. If you remember, or if you heard, a lot of what they're doing with the newer one is that they are going to be featuring things that we didn't necessarily see during the animated one. Case in point, the genocide of the Southern Air Temple. Holy shit.
Stop! He's already dead.
I wasn't expecting them to go that hardcore with it. There's not like blood and stuff, but when you get hit with fire, you do burn. I'm very much surprised by the level that we saw, and it actually kind of speaks to the general thought that this is going to be taking a little bit more of a mature route than just the more lighthearted animated side of things. That's why it's not necessarily as jokey, but I appreciate the attempt to kind of tell it from a different point of view a little bit, or at least from a different vibe. It didn't feel like off the mark at all. To be completely honest, at least for me personally, I felt like the character interpretations, especially of the core kids, Aang, Katara, Sokka, and Zuko, I felt like they were spot on, if I'm being completely honest with you. The design of the characters, the look of the characters, the costume design, all of that felt very spot on. I love how they depicted the Airbender tattoos on Aang. It wasn't like the shitty version that from the He Who Should Not Be Named one. It was very much, it felt like the animation series, but done tastefully in live action, if that makes sense of how I'm describing it. Even Sokka, I thought Sokka's portrayal by his actor, I don't remember the kid's name, I thought he did a really good job portraying that character, even with some of the snarky comments that he makes here and there. It's not an overabundance, it's not overly goofy. It kind of makes sense for the vibe that this show is kind of putting out. Especially when you go full Revenge of the Sith, because I forgot there were kids at the Air Temple, probably when they got wiped out.
I can't believe you've done this.
So I thought a lot of those character choices and designs felt relatively ripped off of the screen from the animated series, but told in a different way to kind of make it their own. It's not necessarily a beat for beat of the original series, and it makes sense. You're trying to tell 20 episodes in 8 episodes. You're gonna change a few things, especially for a more casual audience, to tell just kind of more of a straightforward story. There are still elements and things that are hinted at and mentioned without giving full backstories yet, especially like with Katara losing her mom. We saw flashes of that, but we didn't actually see her go in depthly with it. I will say some of the dialogue, it's a little explicit. What's the word I'm looking for? It's a little expositional to a fault, most notably from Gran, and the scene where they are telling Aang what happened, that the Air Nomads got wiped out. She literally recites the original opening of the animated series, which I think was meant to be like an Easter egg nod, but it literally felt really out of place. That was something that kind of made me go, But that's a minor nitpick for me. And some of the visual effects, while I think a lot of them look really good, especially for a television show budget like this, but you can tell Certain aspects were done on that big 360-degree green screen that they use for like the Mandalorian and stuff like that. It felt like it was on that set, but you can tell what's a set and what's on green screen. But it's not really distracting. At least for me, it wasn't distracting. If anything, I felt like the first episode really set what the new tone was going to be for the show. Case in point, the more mature themes that they're going with, the fact that they've kind of changed the order of events that happen in terms of the audience receiving that information, like what happened with the Airbender, how Aang got trapped in the ice, and then his actual resurrection and encounter with Katara and Sokka, the fact he was captured by Zuko and they take off and they even make it to the Southern Air Temple and he has this moment where he's angry and sees Gyatso's body. Those things are done in a more linear fashion, whereas the thing that was like episode 3 or 4 in the original animated series. So there is going to be a lot of comparison between the animated series and this series because they are very close to each other. It's not like a full-blown reboot. It's not like a complete retelling. It does that thing where it's like it's an adaptation, but it's not an inspiration and it's not a beat for beat retelling. It's somewhere in the middle, which I think is the best option you have because you want to do this in live action. I think 8 episodes is going to be enough time. Might have preferred 10, but I think 8 episodes should work. We'll wait to see once I watch the rest of the episodes. I think the overall themes and the vibes and the character depictions I felt like are faithful to the original series, at least in this sense of our main 4, the 4 kids. I'm a little on the fence about the portrayal of Iroh, just because we've only gotten a few tidbits with them, and it's kind of up and down a little bit in terms of the vibe, but we're getting hints early on about what Iroh's character will be going forward. So I'm looking forward to those later episodes to kind of see if we hit peak Iroh, right? We're not season 3 Iroh yet, where he gets like completely jacked and looks like someone you would encounter in a dark room at a bear bar. Just gonna say that out loud. Besides some of the dialogue being a little expositional and janky in certain spots, I thought overall the chemistry between the core cast feels right. It feels good. I love Aang. I like this portrayal of him so far. It's only 1 episode. We'll see how it feels. He has that spirit of the animated one without necessarily being a complete goofball. He's, happy but a little cocky because he is a 12-year-old who is recognized as an airbending master at such a young age. He's gonna be a little cocky to a certain extent. You get those quieter moments with him, especially once he sees Gyatso's body and gets angry. I did like that scene. I like a lot of the visual effects. I just really like the costume design so far of the series. Like, the costume design feels spot on to me. And that's something I'm really happy with. Even Appa, while you can tell he's not there, because that is a big old CG animal, but I like the look of him. He doesn't feel too alien, like he fits the scene okay. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of the other mixture animals that permeate season 1, basically. I'm cool with the tone, it being a little bit more serious. I'm totally fine with that, yeah. I got really good feel watching the first episode. It definitely moves at a breakneck pace. They get through a lot of stuff, which might be a problem, but it's the same way I kind of felt with One Piece. It's like they went through a lot of stuff very quickly, and that's condensing a lot more down into almost the same amount of episodes. So it'll be interesting to see what they pick and choose to kind of focus on while also trying to make it their own. And I respect that they want to make it their own, because if you're gonna do an adaptation from something animated into live action, it's rather you're gonna do something different or you're gonna tell the exact same story. That's why it's like this is a spoiler review, but you probably know the series already, unless you didn't watch it anytime since 2005. Almost 15 years to watch it. Sorry. I mean, overall, I really did enjoy Avatar: The Last Airbender on Netflix. I have to figure out a better way of saying it. I really enjoyed the first episode. I'm looking forward to watching the rest of the episodes. Let me know what you thought of the first episode in the comments down below. Do you like what you're getting? Do you like the inclusion of the mass murdering of air nomads and the Anakin Skywalkering of a bunch of kids? Let me know those things in the comments. I'm curious to see. Again, be nice to each other. If you liked it, great. If you didn't like it, that's fine. I can understand if you don't like it, but just remember you have the original still around, so if you're really angry about it, I don't know, go watch the original if it makes you feel better. Anyway, that's going to do it for episode 1's review. I'm sure I missed talking about something. If I did, let me know those things in the comments. I will hopefully get episode 2 out somewhat quickly. I'll probably watch it tomorrow and then probably record that as well. So look forward to those things. If you are new here and you happen to enjoy this video, hopefully you click the subscribe button and check out some of the other stuff that I do on the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. You can follow me on a lot of different social media platforms listed at the end of this video. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Look forward to episode 2 once I post that as well, and some other videos that I am going to finish before the end of this month and get them on this channel for you. So look forward to those things. And until next time, I will catch you later. Hey, thanks for watching this video. If you did like this video, why not give me a thumbs up and share it with your friends? You can subscribe to the channel by clicking on my gorgeous little face right over there. You can follow me on all the various social media platforms right below. And last but certainly not least, if you've got a few extra minutes, why not check out one of the lovely videos floating right over here. Later.